Hey you guys, it's Friday and today is Foodie Friday here at My Table of Three. It's a new series where I'm going to focus on Trim Healthy Mama low carb meals and meal planning, freezer meals, things like that. Today I've decided to share with you one of our common meals that I have. It's made in the Instant Pot. Super simple, one pot, unless you choose to take an extra step that I'll tell you about in a little bit. But we're just going to do a really quick, easy spaghetti with marinara sauce tonight, or red sauce. And we're going to do it all in the Instant Pot. So first we're going to cook the squash, and then I'll show you how to go from there. So yeah, this is just a go-to meal. We cook, we have it at least once a week. I work, as we've said before, part-time for Hilton Hotels. I do work from home in the office back there, and if you hear background, that's Nathan in the back finishing up his school. But so I worked a shift this morning already. Now I have about a 3-hour window that I'm going to start cooking. I'll tell you a little bit about that when I get started cooking as well, how long I have off and how quickly. But we do eat our main meal in the middle of the day, and then we eat a lighter meal later. But we're going to show you this easy meal, this one-pot wonder I call it, and I hope you guys enjoy it. If you follow Trim Healthy Mama, I would say this is probably going to be an S. It's going to be light on the dairy because I'm trying to cut back on dairy, but I'll give you options where you can make it even better, and ways that you can add more cheese and things like that to make it more family-friendly. If you have kids that don't like spaghetti squash, Nathan did not like it at first. I just kept giving him a little bit each time, and gradually he's learned to like it. And he also enjoys it without cheese or with sometimes some extra cheese, which we'll probably put extra on his, but more about that later. So right now, let's jump into the kitchen and start this easy meal. Okay, so we're going to get ready and cook our main meal for the day, which is going to be a simple, it would be a pasta bake, but we're not using pasta. We're using this large spaghetti squash that I bought at Aldi. They had them on sale for, I think it was 79 cents a pound this past time when I went grocery shopping. So for this quick, we're going to use the Instant Pot all in one. We're going to cook the squash in here, take it out, drain the water, and then saute 1 pound of ground beef. About a cup and a fourth or a cup and a half of this red, green, yellow, onion, bell pepper mix. I showed you this in my grocery haul. If I didn't, I've talked about it before. It's just in the frozen section. I am going to use this organic marinara that I picked up from Walmart. I tried to find the one with the lowest carbs, but just do the best you can. We're going to use probably about half of this jar, maybe a little bit more, but we'll see, divide. And then I'm going to use a little bit of the grated style Parmesan. Let's see, I just realized that's reduced fat. Typically I don't buy reduced fat, but anyway, it's what I got. So that's what I'm going to use. Now, we're going to cook all this in one pot because I am working today. I'm on I worked a shift already this morning. I'll go back in about 3 hours, or 3.5 hours. So I'm going to get our main meal cooked, so that'll be ready. I'll eat before I go back to work at 2, and the boys will eat whenever they're ready. So this is going to be the main meal. We'll probably have a side with it. I don't know if I will. Typically when we eat this spaghetti stuff, we eat it in a bowl like a whole meal. But if you wanted to do this a little bit different and bake it in the oven like a spaghetti bake, I'll tell you more about that later. But this is going to be a simple one-pot meal for us. So I will show you what it looks like as I put it together. First thing I'm going to do is add 1 cup of water into the Instant Pot and put my spaghetti squash in. And I just have a 5-quart pot, so I'm going to make it fit so I'm not way above this max line. If you guys have a larger pot, then it won't be this big, but alright, so I'm going to put the lid on it, make sure the seal is closed, and then I'm going to put it on manual. Let's see, and I'm going to adjust it to 6 minutes because it's pretty large, and I'm just going to let it come to pressure, steam for 6 minutes. I will probably let it natural release for 1 or 2 minutes, and then I'll quick release the rest. So I'm going to let that cook. I'll be back and show you when I take it out and do the rest. So check back with you in about, I don't know, about 10 minutes or so. Alright guys, so this is my spaghetti squash. I can't even talk this morning. It has finished in the Instant Pot. I let it sit for about a minute to natural release, and then I did a quick release. Now I'm just going to remove this carefully because it is hot, guys. from the Instapot, let it drain a little bit, and I'm just going to set it over here to the cutting board, and I'm going to let this cool and move on to my next. So this is very soft. This is how we like ours. If you have a smaller spaghetti squash, then I would definitely start at about 4 minutes and do natural pressure release. Okay, so this is hot, so I'm going to drain the water real quick because the next step we're going to saute and we don't need water. Just going to wipe it out just a little bit. Okay, so we're going to place that back in. Remember, this is as easy as it gets. I'm in the middle of a work shift, so I am trying to, let me see if I can get you guys at a better angle. Okay, that's a little bit better, huh? You guys can see it. So I'm now going to put this, cancel off that, and I'm going to hit saute. I did not mention earlier, but I have lean grass-fed meat, so I'm just going to add just about, I don't know, a couple of teaspoons of olive oil. You can use avocado oil. If you have like a fattier ground beef, you don't even have to add that. So I'm going to put this on saute and let it heat up. And then we're just going to add our 1 pound of beef. Just going to slide it in. And then I am going to add our frozen pepper blend. Remember, this was just red pepper, yellow pepper, green pepper, some onion. I just thawed this on the counter. Then I drained a little bit of the water, and now I'm just going to place that in as well. You guys can leave this out. You can put mushrooms in this, just a chopped up onion. I'm going to use my fork. Just whatever kind of stuff you like in your spaghetti. I would love to put mushrooms in here, but Nathan, my son, hates mushrooms. My husband, I don't think he's real fond of them either, but Nathan, like, literally cringes. So, ground beef, peppers, and onion mix. Now, the spices, I did not mention earlier either because those are kind of optional, but I like spices. I add garlic powder. This is garlic powder. This is onion powder. And salt to mine. You can add whatever seasoning you... Oh, you know what? Let me grab the Italian season. That would be good, too. Okay, and so we'll add Italian seasoning. I would start out with probably a half a teaspoon of each if you want to. I'm not going to measure because I never do. Just going to sprinkle it in. We like it, so I probably put close to a teaspoon of each in mine. You guys can start with a half or do a teaspoon if you like flavor. Now I'm going to do the Italian seasoning. Probably about a teaspoon for sure of the Italian seasoning. And salt. Probably just going to eyeball it for us because I know, but you guys can put, start with a half a teaspoon and go from there. Just going to use my Pampered Chef chopper and chop it up and mix it. This is a mixing chopper. I'm not even sure you can still get these, but I love it. I've had it for years. Years and years. I used to sell Pampered Chef, and I love, this is one of my favorite products. Still using it. So, okay, so now at this point, you're just going to let this ground beef and onion mixture cook while your spaghetti squash is sitting here draining. And so what I'm going to do now is just let this saute. I'm not going to keep you guys here the whole time so I can, for the sake of time, so you can see that. So I'm going to saute this until it's completely cooked, and then I'm going to come back and show you how I just throw in the rest of the ingredients to complete our meal. So this probably takes maybe about 8 to 10 minutes. I'll be back in just a moment to show you when this is ready and we move on to the next step. Yes, hopefully you guys can see it because of the steam. So it's still on saute. It didn't take near as long as I thought, which is even better. With this 1 pounded lean ground beef, it took me about 5 minutes to cook it. The peppers and onions, since they were frozen, it didn't take long for them to come to a softened texture like we like. So if you double this, it may take the 10 minutes, but there's that. So the next step I'm going to do, I am actually going to, I think I'm going to add the spaghetti. Well, actually, I'm going to add the spaghetti sauce. You can use pizza sauce. Typically is lower in carbs, I think, but I couldn't find any that in a big enough jar. So I'm just going to add about, I'm going to start with about half of that. I got it all over me, of course. And I'm going to stir it. You can use as much or as little sauce as you like. Now, I'm just going to mix the spaghetti squash into this because, again, I'm going for a whole, Mama's got to work, get it all done for everybody before I go back. 1 pot meal. So we're going to start with that and see, I may have to add more. And then I'm going to pick up my spaghetti squash, and I've already used a fork to separate it. I would have preferred this to be a little bit less soft, so I probably should have went for probably about 4 minutes and let it natural release, but this will work fine. And so we're just going to, I'm going to put it down because it's still hot, guys. But anyway, I just scooped it out, and I'm just going to add it into the sauce, and it's still on saute. At this point, you guys can push it to warm, and I think that's what I'm going to do so it doesn't scorch the bottom. Just make sure you get all of your spaghetti squash out of the shell. And you guys, this is basically perspective-wise. You need to make enough for your family. So obviously, we are a family of 3, so we're not going to have 6 or more would make. Sometimes I make larger meals, and I do it for leftovers. But so you can triple or double this. If you have spaghetti squash, you can do 2 larger ones. If you have super large family, you can do 2 large ones, just one at a time. Or you can even roast these spaghetti squash in the oven. Some people do it in the microwave, but like I said, our microwave went out probably about, I don't know, maybe a month and a half ago, and we're trying to learn to live without it, which is hard because I'm so used to it, but it's not so bad. Anyway, so you could do it in the microwave. Just please make sure you follow all safety instructions. And so here is this. I'm almost out of battery, guys, so I'm going to finish it up. I'm going to add Parmesan. This is about maybe 1/3 of a cup. And I'm going to stir this up, and then it is ready to serve. This is just going to stay on warm in my Instant Pot until everyone is ready to eat. Now, my son will probably want more cheese. If he does, I'm going to shred some mozzarella and put it on top of his. But this is ready. So I'm going to put the lid on it and then just leave it on warm. And dinner is ready. So we can eat this whenever we want. I'll probably eat it before I go back at 2. And that's it. My simple Instant Pot, 1-pot spaghetti, guys. So I hope you've enjoyed this Foodie Friday video. And yeah, we'll see you on Monday.